I remember when I was about 19 years old. It was like after my dad died. It was about a year after my dad had died. And what happened was, growing up as a kid, I always really admired my dad as a father. And a lot of times I wanted to be like just like him. And I think a lot of times as fathers, we fall into that, what I call a trap. Or it may not just be a trap, but it's like we want to be so much like our father that raised us, unless they had bad habits or bad reputations. But I remember dressing like my dad, talking like him, and just really admiring him. But as time went on, I started to realize, you know what, Christopher? You need to be your own individual person. And that's something I really try to tell men. It's like, always be the man that you were supposed to be. Be the man that God chose for you to be. Be the man that you really set out on your heart to really be. Like, you know in your mind who you are as an individual and as a man, and you know who God has really called you to be, as long as you listen to that silent voice where God is really speaking to you. And I think a lot of times it's like the old us is built like a certain way. And when we're younger, we might want to be like a rap artist. We might want to be like a drug dealer or something crazy. I mean, there's lots of different ideas that I had. I wanted to be like a sports agent. And then I also wanted to be like a rapper. But as time went on, I was like, what do I really want to be? The old me is built one way. Like, okay, I want to do all this hood stuff, ghetto stuff as a kid. And then the older I got, I was like, that's not really me. I'm a little bit rough around the edges, but I'm not at a point where it's like, I'm the type of father that's going to be fighting and doing all that stuff. It's like, what type of job do I really want? So I always knew I wanted to own my own business as a father, and I really want to be an example as a father. And I started to realize that more and more, like after I had kids. But sometimes when we don't have kids before, we don't really know. And that's why as men, I really want you to be the person that you're supposed to be. Don't follow the crowd. I mean, you don't have to be the next Jeff Bezos. You don't have to be the next Bill Gates. Just be you. Be who you're supposed to be. And that's it. I mean, it just takes time to really understand that. And growth can look confusing at first. Sometimes we might run into challenges and stuff, and then we think that we're not doing something right. No, it's just a part of life. Every single thing that you have in life, you go up, and then it starts to steady out, and then it starts to drop, and then it may go back up. You have different challenges in life. And we're all like that. If you look at the seasons in life, we got fall, spring, summer, and winter, and the life is just repetitive, and it's a repetitive cycle that keeps on going. And as men, you always got to take that into consideration. So you go through different phases and changes in life and seasons that you go through. And one season could last 1 year. It could last 5 years. Another season could last you 10 years. But as you go through these different stages and seasons in life, never forget who God has meant you to be. And then your next question might be like, well, who is he asking me to be? That's why you got to get to that real small, quiet place and just spend time praying and just seeing who God has really asked you to be, and be honest with yourself about who you are. Sometimes the confusion might come like, I'm supposed to make all this money. I got to do all these different things. No, your kids don't need that. They just need their father to be there, and they just need a good father that's going to take care of them. And sometimes the pain, it's not always pain is a bad thing. Pain can be a detour to something greater. I mean, imagine if I wouldn't have got divorced. Imagine if I wouldn't have went to court. Imagine if I would have never had kids. I would never be able to make any of this content. But because I went through these different challenges and stuff, I rearranged the pain that I went through, and I was open about it. Like, okay, if I can have these different challenges and problems, I can improve upon it and I can help other men. And that's what I started to realize. I was like, I can really help other men now because I've been there and done that. So now I know how to help them. And it was such a life-changing event for me. So pain isn't always a bad thing. It's not even a detour. You have to go through these different struggles in life. Even when you plant plants in the garden, what do? You have to put it in the ground. And when you put it in the ground, then you have to put dirt on top of it. All the dirt and stuff touches it and is on top of it until you water it and let it grow. And then it grows up. So you have to go through rough things. Even when they're making diamonds and different stuff, it has to go through this process where it burns, it cuts. There's so many different things. And then your children, they need you. They just need the father. All they need is a father in their life. They don't need a superhero dad. And that's something I want y'all to know is like, you don't have to try to be the superhero. Be the man and the father that you're destined to be. Have that job. Maybe you're supposed to be a CEO of a company. Maybe you're supposed to be a president. Maybe you're just supposed to be a janitor. And maybe you're just supposed to be somebody that works in electrical engineering or something. But you know what you're supposed to be as a father. Follow that dream and follow that gift because you want to set that example. And I think sometimes as fathers, we don't want to follow because we think it's too hard or maybe that's not the right path. Follow your intuition as a father and find the correct job for you, whether it's a job or whether it's making products or whether it's whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, because you want to set that example. Like today, my son he had texted me because I was at church. And he was like, hey, call me when you get done. I was like, okay, I'm gonna call you. So then I called him back and then I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I got a haircut. And I was like, okay. So then I said, let me see. So then he showed me. I said, boy, why did you get the haircut? He got like a low haircut looking like, he's like, it looks kind of like yours, Dad. I was like, boy, do not get no haircut like me. I always tell my son, I don't have a problem with you. Just do you. Don't copy me. Your name is not Christopher. Your name is not Dad. So be who you supposed to be. And that's something I always tell my sons is like, don't copy me. I want you to be your own individual person. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wasn't mad. I'm like, boy, quit trying to copy me. Just do your own thing. He just starts laughing because I don't have a problem with that. I just want him to be who he is. And then also too, it's like, just make sure that you're always becoming the person that you're supposed to be. Because if we don't, what happens is that we end up becoming somebody that we're not. And then our kids see somebody, a father that is not really who they're supposed to be. And we might start drinking or smoking and stuff because we really don't know who we are and we're trying to be something that we're not. Don't do that. Just be who you are. Just be who you are and be happy with the profession that God has chosen you to be in. Just do that. Because if not, you're going to faking it and being something that you're not. And a lot of times going from boyhood to manhood is not easy, but it's beneficial in the end. Because as we go through these different challenges and stuff, whether it's relationships, it's marriage, it's, you just may have kids with somebody and y'all not married. It could be a lot of different things, but the fact of the matter is that as we go through these different challenges and stuff, we're not boys anymore. We're turning into men. And it's such an amazing thing to see that as we grow from our teens to our 20s to our 30s and our 40s, to see the growth happening within us to really show that example. And then look back at some of our pictures, look back at some of our videos and say, I really have changed a lot. And I feel like I'm no longer that boy I once was, and I'm really growing into a man. And I think that's really what our kids need to see. They need to see us as fathers being the person that we're supposed to be, leading and guiding. And it's such a great thing. And God doesn't just recycle through people. He doesn't just recycle through men. He doesn't just recycle through fathers. What he does is he restructures. A lot of times what happens is that God will use the certain challenges and struggles that we go through. He'll mold it, he'll guide it, patch it up, and then he'll say, hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to help other people with the things that you've been through. And it could be, maybe you were abused as a kid, maybe your father wasn't there, or maybe you just want to become a better father. But it's always some plan behind it. So never think like, why did this happen to me? Just look at it and say, what did I learn as a father and as a man that I can really pass on to my kids, that I can really pass on to other people in the community? Because remember, our content here, my content is all about helping fathers. And that's what it's always about. So what I want y'all to do is be your own man. Be your own father. Be the person that you're supposed to be, because I believe in you. So remember that. Remember, we got to get the content out. Like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.